right, everybody. Here we're gonna do part two. This is part two. If you haven't checked to look at, take a look at our Declan Van Helsing tooling sample video. It kind of goes over more of the articulation. We're gonna cover a few figures in this one. A lot of these will have accessories on them already. Hopefully we can answer any questions in the comments. Anyway, so I wanted to start off talking about the Delta Red Trooper. You can see here we have one all geared out, similar to the Declan Van Helsing. They've got attachments you can put in at all sorts of different places. This figure has shoulder pads, elbow pads as well. Those do come on and off. Here he's holding his gun. We will include blast effects here. So here's an example of one. Here's an example of another. And then here's an example of a smoke effect. So those will come as well. Obviously they just fit right in there, like so. Let's see, as far as the head, someone asked the other day, like, how are they articulated? As you can see here, the neck, as I mentioned in the other video, does pop out with a little heat. You can pop that in, and then they rotate back and forth in this direction. Obviously they have a joint there. The heads just pop on like so, and then you get some really good articulation in the neck as well. And these are the face shields that pop on here. Obviously they are going to come with a couple of face shields, so you can swap those on and off as well. They just go into the hole here and they come on and off like this. So again, same articulation as the Declan Van Helsing we covered in the other video, so take a look at that if you're interested in more. These figures obviously have swivels at the boots. Declan didn't have boots, he doesn't have swivel. But yeah, so as I mentioned, they all have the plate carriers with detachable accessories and so forth. Again, some of the figures have elbow pads as well as shoulder pads that you can see here. Here's the stands, in case you're curious. The figures are going to come with stands. They're designed to be displayed like this. They're in two parts. They'll be glued here like this, but they're in side display like that, so you can display them as tombstones, because what they are is tombstones. So you can display them like that on the back of your figure, or if you want to put the figure in the stand, you could put them on the stand like so. And then display them this way, or you could display them the other way if you wanted. There's a nameplate here that we're going to put names on the front. You actually can't see that angle there, but yeah, so you can display them this way, or if you want to display them that way, you could also display them this way if that's your thing. But yeah, so they will obviously be glued like this, and then they stand like that. So they look like tombstones that you could put in a backdrop if you're not a stand person. So that's the thing on the stand, in case folks were wondering. Let's see, we also have, in this video, we're going to go over also Forgotten King. Here's the Forgotten King figure. Again, he's decked out. This figure, like Dracula, also has a coat. So there's not a lot of torso articulation here in the waist, outside of, you can obviously rotate the torso this direction. He does come with a pretty wide stance, so you can stand him up, although the angle doesn't really show that, but like, yeah, so you can get the legs out pretty wide. His staff comes apart at both ends, and you can add on the extra blade onto it as well. So if you want to display him with two blades, you can, like so forth. Or you can put the top of the staff back on, and he grips it in his hand. Then he has blast effects here. Those clip on. You can take the hands off and clip these on. He'll come with two, actually. This figure, although with the coat, still does have articulation at the shoulders with the biceps, with the shoulder swivel here on both sides. So you get a pretty good, he can go back pretty far, go forward pretty far. So you get some pretty good rotation there. Obviously the head is there. He's got his tie as well, and the coat is there. But yeah, still got some pretty good articulation, and you can get a pretty wide stance with the figure. He cannot sit down because of his coat. So, but I think that was pretty obvious when we showed the pre-orders. There is no coat articulation in this figure. So anyway, that's the Forgotten King. We're going to put him over here. Let's see. We're also going to take a look at Sleepwalker. So let's see. So Sleepwalker comes with the basic figure and a lot of accessories. Many folks are asking, what are all those bits and bobs? Well, we'll cover the figure first. So here's the figure here. Again, he's got, you know, this rubber vest over the torso, but you can rock back and forth, and he does articulate at the waist. So got some pretty good rotation there. Obviously, the shoulders go back and forward here with that joint. This helmet here has plugs in it. We'll cover what the plugs do in a second. Obviously, there's a hole for the backpack here. You can put the backpacks in like so. They sit in like that. Yeah, and then the figures actually can sit, and they do have articulation there, so they can sit in vehicles with the skirts. The skirts are cut on the side, so they allow for the figure to sit. Their boots are rotated here, so you get some really good rotation there. Obviously, ankle balls here. Figures go back, legs go back about that far. Yeah, and then just so you know, on the arms, here's the arms come in about like that. So that's the articulation there. So that's the basic Sleepwalkers. They have the shoulder strap here. If you push that up, it'll stay there. Yeah, and then so on a couple of the heads, and you'll see these in a minute, they have holes on them here. So there's holes in the back here, there's holes in the sides here. And what those are for a lot of the different accessories. For example, you have this figure here that has little vents you can plug into the side. There's a ton of different ones. Here's one that is more rounded. Obviously, they're uniform, so you can have them look the same on either side. In this case, I plugged in one that does not look the same. So you can take those out. They're all meant to come out. You know, these can plug in all sorts of places. So you get some variety there with these heads as well. And all the figures come with hoses that can connect into those places there. So for example, and we'll cover that in a minute, I'll show that more. I've got a figure over here that's decked out, but you can see like the hoses plug into the back of the heads here, but they can plug into various attachments in the backpack, right? So if you wanted to have the hose plugged in off to the side here, like so, that's kind of a weird thing, but you could do stuff like that. So there's all sorts of different options here with the hoses and the attachments. The idea with these characters is they're all controlled by sleeping gas from Dr. Caligari. That sleeping gas is contained here in the unit, and then it goes into not only their helmets, but also essentially their weapons. So there's a lot of customization here. The backpack looks like this. And again, all the plugs kind of fit in the various areas here if you want them to plug in, right? So there's a lot of, I think, a lot of cool stuff you can do with the figures. These little attachments come in. So again, you can plug out, you can plug in stuff like that. There's crossbars that plug in. So that'll give you some cool angles to actually use here with a lot of the attachments. So yeah, I've got one all kind of decked out, so I'll pull that over here and we can take a look at that. Yeah, the weapons, here's the gun and the rifle. You can take a look at those. The rifle and the heavy machine gun, which I'll show in a second, again, also have holes where you can plug in all the hoses. We're probably going to double up the hoses. Right now, I think we've listed it that it comes with one of each size. I think we're going to try to make it so it can come with 2 of each size. So we're going to give that a go. Also, again, blast effects here that you have here. This blast effect is in 2 pieces. And then you can plug it into the hole here. Oops, I didn't plug it through the hole. There's a hole in this first. This is what I get for doing this video without my glasses. And then you can plug that in there. And those are blast effects that work with the guns. If you want the smaller blast effect, you just take that out of the holder, and then you can plug it in there. It'll come with 2 of these, so you could do something like this where you've got Blast Effects plugged in there and also plugged in there. So that's a general gist of the various parts. This belt buckle is actually glued in. It does not come with the extra one, but it'll be glued in there. These, again, various plugs that plug in, respirators, all sorts of things that can go into the backpacks, the heads, the different heads, and the different areas in the front there. So all sorts of really cool combinations and customizations I think you guys will be able to do. Here's another head. We'll use, let's see, here's the round vents. We'll plug the round vents in. And let's see, those will end up looking like that. But again, a lot of army building potential here with these, so that you can take them and make a bunch of configurations. So let's get that out of the way here. And then we'll bring in one of these guys I've got decked out already. You can take a look at him. So he's pretty decked out. He's got all the hoses. He's got the heavy gunner. He's got the 2 blast effects, hoses plugged into the face that go around the back, hoses that are plugged into the various ports all over the backpack. Again, a lot of ways you can kind of plug these in and out. These L clips allow you to kind of move the hoses here. The hoses are flexible. So there's some hoses come out of here. So there's a lot of great, I think, custom potential you can have in the figures. At least that's what we're hoping for. So we're hoping we'll see a lot of great photos. So those are the figures we've covered today. Hope it's helpful. Again, we're on track for Q2 with these. We'll have some photos of some early paint samples that we'll hopefully have over the next couple of weeks. Still refining those. Those are early, but if you've been following us for a while, you know that we like to post photos of the process throughout the process, get feedback from you all. So hopefully we can answer some questions. But I think we're going to have some pretty great figures for Wave 1. So we're really excited about that. Hope you guys are as well. Again, thanks for hanging in there with us while we're getting this line ready for everybody. We're super excited about what we've got coming up, this year as well. And yeah, please post some comments. We're going to post this video both on YouTube and the rest of our socials like Facebook and Instagram, and we'll get back to you with any questions. But thanks for hanging in there, and look for more posts soon. Thanks.